I'm Coyote McLeod. You know, if you can't be around a TV, you can still get your News 2 Storm Tracker weather forecast throughout the day. Every day on Oldies 96.3 WMAK.
Storm Tracker shows a line of thunder showers in southern Middle Tennessee, moving to the south, otherwise just hot.
All right, Lisa, thanks.
That'll do for News 2 at 5. We'll see you back here at 6.
On World News tonight, the U.S. commander in Iraq says troops who criticize their mission should be disciplined. On Capitol Hill, the CIA director defends U.S. intelligence on Iraq. Tonight, the phony document that led to the bogus claim in the State of the Union address. We'll take a closer look tonight at the system to make nursing homes safe. Congressional investigators say it is seriously deficient. And smog is coming back in various parts of the country, including California.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to start off tonight by listening to the new commander of U.S. forces in Iraq. His name is General John Abizaid, and he said today, "We are still at war." However you want to describe it, the general said it is war. Another American soldier was killed today. 229 have now died since the war began. A surface-to-air missile was fired at a U.S. transport plane as it was landing in Baghdad today. The missile was wide of its mark, but we learned today that this is the third time it has happened. ABC's Martha Raddatz is at the Pentagon. As always, Martha, the general, had a lot to say today.
He did, Peter. General Abizaid was very forthright. He said opposition groups in Iraq are adjusting to U.S. tactics, and U.S. forces must now adapt. Today's attack in Baghdad was again aimed at a convoy. The U.S. soldier killed and the 3 others wounded, hit by a rocket-propelled grenade that ripped through their vehicle. Hours later, the surface-to-air missile was launched at a C-130 landing in Baghdad. Today, the new U.S. commander said the attacks are being carried out by opposition groups, split into cells of 6 to 8 people, organized and funded at a regional level.
I think describing it as guerrilla tactics being employed against us is, a proper thing to describe in strictly military terms. But it's war, however you describe it.
The continuing unrest comes at a time when some U.S. troops are tired and frustrated. Yesterday, ABC News broadcast interviews with members of the 3rd Infantry Division who had expected to return home after major combat ended.
If Donald Rumsfeld was here, I'd ask him for his resignation.
I used to want to help these people, and now I don't really care about them anymore.
Today, General Abizaid said he had seen the interviews and was not happy, saying no one in uniform is free to disparage the Secretary of Defense.
It's very unfortunate that professional soldiers made comments like that. Whatever action may be taken, whether it's a verbal reprimand or something more stringent, is up to the commanders on the scene.
Abizaid did say definitively that the 3rd ID would be out of Iraq by September. But he also made clear that the current troop strength of 160,000 will be needed in Iraq for the foreseeable future.
If the situation gets worse, I won't hesitate to ask for more.
But General Abizaid said those troops which are in Iraq or who will be coming to Iraq can expect to stay there, Peter, as long as a year.
One other very delicate point today about morale: suicides.
Yes, Peter. ABC News has confirmed that of those deaths in Iraq, at least 5 are suspected suicides. These are figures we've been trying to get for several days now, something the Pentagon really does not want to talk about. It's a very delicate subject, as you say.
Many thanks, Martha. Martha Raddatz at the Pentagon tonight. We've had a lot of questions in the last 24 hours about whether soldiers are permitted to publicly criticize their mission or their superiors, as some did on this program last night. Officially, a soldier could be court-martialed for this, although it is rare, and at the discretion of his commander. We were reminded today of a common refrain from drill sergeants to their troops: "We are here to defend democracy, not to practice it." Those soldiers who lashed out on this broadcast about the Pentagon are based at Fort Stewart in Georgia. It was, as we've said, a very unusual outburst, and we were naturally curious to see how their families felt. ABC's Aaron Hayes reports from Fort Stewart tonight.
The families of the 3rd Infantry Division are traditionally accepting of the uncertainties of Army life.
I miss my daddy.
But this, many say, is just too much. Again and again, announcements that their soldiers are coming home are then canceled. There is a growing discontent here.
This saying one thing and backing out of it, all it does is breed distrust. You know, it's going to be really hard to trust anything that the military tells us again.
They say they had been led to believe Fort Stewart soldiers of the 3rd Infantry, the first into Baghdad, the ones who saw some of the fiercest fighting, would be relieved quickly.
In the beginning, they told us they'd be the first ones back. After the war, they'd be the first ones back.
But Stacy Gilmore's husband, Terry, remains in Iraq almost a year after he was deployed, and Stacy is upset over General Abizaid's harsh criticism of her husband. She is proud he spoke up. It speaks volumes, she says, because Terry is not one to complain.
It takes a lot for Terry to get upset, and he's been through a lot, and I think he has the right to complain. I think anybody would.
Sergeant Philippe Vega is in the same unit. His wife, Rhonda, says he told the truth, and it needs to be heard.
They feel that their mission is completed. They feel that they came what they went over there to do, and, they're dying.
Fort Stewart's commander says the decision whether to discipline the soldiers for speaking out lies with their local commanding officers, and nothing's been decided yet.
Soldiers have a right to complain, but there's a complaint process, and we'll deal with that.
As for the 3rd Infantry's return, the Army is asking families to be patient, and some say they can be a while longer.
They're doing their jobs, and if our government says they have to stay and do their jobs longer, that's what they have to do.
Exactly how much longer, though, no one is certain. Aaron Hayes, ABC News, Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Probably until they're ordered to come home. We got a first-hand look today at those forged documents about uranium and Iraq that have got the Bush administration into so much trouble. The ones the president used in his State of Address. ABC's Brian Ross is here with the background, where they appeared, and what they say.
Peter, it was the first time they were seen publicly, and what a two-bit job of forgery they are. The fake documents came from Italy, allegedly produced by an underpaid Niger diplomat, and were published today in the newspaper La Repubblica. There are glaring errors: the use of obsolete letterheads, incompatible dates, and poorly forged signatures. This document, dated October of 2000, supposedly signed by the foreign minister and formalizing the sale of uranium to Iraq, has the signature of a man who has not been the foreign minister at Niger since 1989. This letter is both addressed to the president of Niger and signed by the president of Niger, and it uses the wrong symbol for the president's office.
The U.S. government still considers these documents to be classified, and the discussion about them to be be behind closed doors. I think we need public hearings on these documents now that ABC has made them available, and we know they're a hoax.
The same issue is being raised in Britain, where Prime Minister Blair was on the defensive today in Parliament, still insisting no one was misled about Iraq's nuclear ambitions. And tomorrow, Peter, Mr. Blair will make the same case when he appears before Congress on a long-planned trip to Washington.
An issue that simply hasn't gone away.
That's right.
Many thanks, Brian. Brian Ross. The CIA Director, George Tenet, appeared today before the Senate Intelligence Committee. He's the one who took responsibility last week for the information making it into the president's speech. The hearing today took place behind closed doors. ABC's Linda Douglas, who works Capitol Hill, was working the hearing. Linda?
Well, and this is a top secret hearing, so it's hard to get information, Peter. But senators are emerging to say that they are finding out about the role that the White House played in the intelligence flap. And one of them said about this controversy, all roads lead to the White House.
George Tenet was grilled about the CIA's handling of intelligence by Republicans who say it was sloppy and by Democrats who say the intelligence was manipulated by the White House to build support for the war. Presidential candidate John Edwards suggested it is not the CIA's fault that false information wound up in President Bush's speech.
At the end of the day, the president, when he speaks, has to take responsibility for what he says. The responsibility is not the CIA's, it's not anyone else's, it is the president's responsibility.
Some Republicans say whoever mishandled the intelligence has damaged America's reputation in the world.
That raises a real question about, the credibility of the United States. So it failed, the system and the process failed the president, and it failed the country.
The hearing was top secret. But senators wanted to know, what role did Vice President Cheney play in skewing evidence about Iraq's attempts to build nuclear weapons? Who in the White House insisted on putting dubious claims in the president's speech? Why didn't CIA Director Tenet bother to read that speech before the president gave it? And why did the CIA continue to include questionable intelligence in reports it sent to Congress?
Vice President Cheney came to Capitol Hill today to tell Republican House leaders to fight back. He told them there is plenty of evidence that Iraq was trying to build nuclear weapons, pursue a nuclear program. He reminded them to tell people that the war was about more than weapons of mass destruction. And he told them that tomorrow Prime Minister Tony Blair will defend the quality of British intelligence and say it was sound, Peter.
Many thanks, Linda Douglas on Capitol Hill. When we come back, tragedy in California. A car runs over dozens of people at a crowded street market. Tonight, we're going to take a closer look at nursing homes in crisis. Thousands of vulnerable people in danger.
What I witnessed in the nursing home, patients moaning and crying out for help and their needs not being met, those images will stay with me forever.
And it is now 3 decades since Jimmy Hoffa disappeared. There was another lead today. They were digging in Michigan.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Shell.
One of these cars is filled with new Shell gasoline. The gasoline specially formulated to give you better mileage. In fact, we have tests to prove it. So, if you took these 3 cars on an identical journey, new Shell gasoline would help one of them go farther.
It's been a long, tough day and your body can really feel the pain. Time for new Bayer Muscle and Joint Cream. It soothes sore muscles and aching joints by increasing circulation at the site of pain. New Bayer Muscle and Joint Cream. Get moving again, pain-free.
How do you invest to help secure your children's future? You start with your dreams and Edward Jones.
My life, my world, it all begins with a dream.
Edward Jones.
Today, more people with diabetes are getting to know Accu-Check Compact. The one with the drum. Automatic, so you never have to handle a test strip, even when you're in the middle of something important. Compact from Accu-Check. Diabetes made easier. Life lived better.
What's the matter, Frank?
What, I ate that pizza?
You love pizza.
I knew I'd get heartburn.
Didn't you start taking Prilosec?
Yeah, but it can take 4 days to fully kick in.
That's a long time to wait, Frank.
Oh!
Prilosec can take up to 4 days to fully work. It's not for immediate relief. Zantac 75 works fast right when you need it, even at night when heartburn can be at its worst. Zantac, fast heartburn relief for people who hate to wait.
Oh!
Bob, you're snoring. Bob?
In Santa Monica, California, this afternoon, a car suddenly plowed through a crowded street market. People were killed and they were injured as well. The driver is said by eyewitnesses to have been an older man. Here's ABC's Judy Muller.
Horrified witnesses say a sedan driven by an elderly man roared through the popular farmers market in Santa Monica this afternoon. 8 people were killed, some 22 injured, 14 critically. Witness David Baxter said the car finally came to a stop only after it had sped through 2 blocks of the market.
It looked horrible, and there was a woman stuck under the car, and then we were trying to get the guy out of the car, and then about a group of 10 or 12 guys lifted the car to get the woman out.
Baxter said the driver looked dazed.
He was an old man. He was in his late 70s, and I heard him tell the cop, he's been driving since he was 14 in his first accident.
Another witness described the scene as a war zone with people everywhere covered in blood. Emergency crews set up a triage system in the street, evacuating the most seriously wounded first. The accident occurred in an area near the beach frequented by tourists. Several hundred people were milling about the produce stands when the car seemed to come out of nowhere. The driver was taken to a local hospital and is being questioned by police. Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Elsewhere in the country today, the governor of Texas has called on the National Guard for help to clean up the mess left by Hurricane Claudette. The governor is also asking President Bush for federal money. This would enable people, the governor said, to have people repair their homes and their businesses. About 80,000 people are without electricity today. Many residents say that Claudette was much more powerful than they had expected. A new report this week says that smog is making a comeback, especially in California, though it's in many other American cities as well. The city of Los Angeles, particularly, for one, spent years trying to improve its air quality, and for a while it succeeded. Now things appear to have taken a turn for the worse. In Los Angeles, ABC's Brian Rooney.
This city was losing its reputation as the smog capital of America, but smog alerts and pea soup air may be returning.
I think we're definitely heading into a crisis.
This is happening because there are more people, more cars, and more gas-eating sport utility vehicles. Pollution controls on cars have helped, but there are many unregulated sources, like smoke-belching trains, jet engines, power plants, and ships that burn low-grade oil.
You have 16 ships that come into the harbor. They're going to pollute as much as 1 million cars on the road, and they're not being regulated.
To cut smog, officials say they need to look at new things to regulate and new ways to regulate them. Things like farm equipment, dry cleaners, and old cars.
Something like less than 20% of motor vehicles today cause more than 80% of the emissions from that sector.
Monday in Los Angeles, ozone levels blossomed as the air was heated by the sun and trapped by mountains. Across the country, hot weather has contributed to higher levels of the dangerous chemical ozone. This was how ozone levels grew last Friday in Denver, a city that has made enormous progress against smog and is beginning to slide. Some days it nearly obscures the skyline.
Well, I'm not sure that we're headed back towards the bad old days, but we certainly have had the highest levels of ozone that we've recorded in the last 10 years to 15 years, so it's not a good indication for us.
2 weeks of heavy smog and a summer that may be the worst for air pollution in many years have served warning that the fight against smog may be getting tougher. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Los Angeles.
When we come back this evening, many thousands of Americans at risk. We're going to take a closer look at the state of nursing homes.
When Manny and Aaron decided to start their own business, someone was there to guide them through a commercial lease. While Manny hammered out their business plan, someone else was negotiating TI allowances. As Aaron tested their new prototype, someone else was finalizing a triple net lease. And while Manny and Aaron prepared to get down to business, someone else closed the deal. Work with someone who worked with you. We're realtors. Real estate is our life.
I love nature.
Except when it stops.
You're constipated.
Maureen.
Try new Phillips chocolate cream chews. Unlike others, Phillips is stimulant-free. It works more naturally for cramp-free relief.
Phillips.
Comfortable cramp-free relief.
Best Western is the largest hotel chain in the world. Over 4,000 hotels in over 80 countries, all inviting you to get a good night's sleep. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Visit bestwestern.com.
An anniversary is something you never want to miss, especially this year. Announcing the Lincoln Mercury Anniversary Clearance, featuring end-of-the-model year savings on every Lincoln and Mercury. Including Lincoln Navigator, the all-new Lincoln Aviator, the all-new Lincoln LS, and the best Lincoln Town Car ever. Now get 0% financing for 60 months or up to $7,500 cash back, plus your dealer's best model year-end price. This is one anniversary you don't want to miss. Hurry to your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Oh, hey, hi, I'm Baker. Don't mind me, I'm just a dermatophyte. You know, a nail infection. All I want is to get in here and live under your nail. You can't get me with clippers or those surface treatments you try on your own. I'm in too deep in your nail bed. I'll make myself comfortable, invite a few friends, settle in.
Do you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails? Millions of people do. It may be caused by an active live infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target target and attack the infection at its source, underneath the nail. In fact, you can start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. Barely serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do blood tests. Other side effects including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. It's the #1 brand for treating infected nails. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
Tomorrow, the charity business. Where is your money going? Find out how some people are making big money off your goodwill.
I think it's despicable.
Tomorrow on World News Tonight.
We're going to take a closer look at nursing homes. There are, as you've seen on the screen there a moment ago, 1.7 million people living in thousands of American nursing homes. A study by the federal government to be released tomorrow says that 20% of those homes actually cause their residents harm. That's an estimated 350,000 older Americans at risk. Tomorrow, a committee of the Senate will get into this. ABC's Lisa Stark has already seen the report.
This is the Illinois nursing home where 57-year-old Anna Carrasco was sent for a short stay after having an operation to improve her breathing. Her daughter visited her a few hours after she arrived.
She needed oxygen and she had a G-tube for feeding and she wasn't hooked up to anything.
Alvarez, seen here with her attorney, claims the home caused her mother's death just days later.
I just think a total lack of concern, no matter the complaints I voiced and she was able to complain on her own, it just fell on deaf ears.
The nursing home says a state investigation found no serious problems with their care.
But the new federal government report questions whether states are doing a good job monitoring and correcting problems in nursing homes.
The report says states seriously underestimate deficiencies at nursing homes. Federal inspectors found that 19% of homes that states said were not deficient were in fact causing harm or putting patients in immediate jeopardy. Other findings: many state inspections are predictable, allowing homes to prepare for them. Complaints aren't followed up quickly enough. States are failing to report all serious violations. New York reported 22 serious problems, but failed to report another 140. Senator Charles Grassley requested the study.
We're spending tens of billions of dollars of federal and state monies on nursing home care, and quality of care is what we're after, or we wouldn't be spending that money, and we want to make sure it's delivered.
The report also found the federal government needs to do more. The Bush administration says it's making headway.
There are 50 different state programs. There are 50 different state Medicaid administrators, 50 different sets of surveyors. It's a big, complicated program, but I think we're making progress.
The Government Accounting Office report did find conditions at nursing homes in some states showed improvement, but it is still difficult for families to know which homes are the right ones. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
A couple of other news items today about people missing and in one case died. Another major figure in Cuban music has died. The Cuban singer Celia Cruz passed away today. We learned just before the broadcast. She was dubbed the Queen of Salsa for helping to popularize the modern Latin sound after she left Cuba in 1960. She made more than 76 records, won 2 Grammys and 3 Latin Grammys. She had brain cancer and she was 77. Earlier this week, the musician Compay Segundo died. He was the leader of the famous Buena Vista Social Club, also Cuban. And when we come back, still looking for Jimmy Hoffa, all these years later.
Everyone knows about the fields of Battle Creek, but we've got orchards too, you know. We call them the orchards of Battle Creek. Where else would we grow our apple cinnamon cereal with 2.5 apples worth of real apples in every box? Where else would you find cereal that tastes so apple-y? Only in a place where apple is considered a real word. Kellogg's Fruit Harvest, now available in apple cinnamon.
Sometimes people bring me more than just their pet.
That's Buddy.
Ooh, and about 100 of his closest friends. And when pets have fleas and ticks, your home and family might have them too. so I recommend Frontline Plus for dogs and cats. It kills fleas fast and lasts longer than any other leading brand. And it kills flea eggs and larvae. Frontline Plus also kills ticks, including those that may transmit Lyme disease. It's my job to keep dogs and cats healthy. Fleas and ticks, that's another story.
Frontline Plus, veterinarian's #1 choice.
Imagine if you could always have this much personal space. Avalon, the most luxurious sedan we've ever created.
'Cause I can't stop loving you. No, I can't stop loving you.
Millions of us are hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS. The cause? For most, it was blood platelets that formed clots, which blocked blood from getting to the heart. Think aspirin and your other heart medications alone are enough? One more thing could help make a difference. Ask your doctor about adding Plavix. Added to aspirin in your current treatment, Plavix goes beyond what you're taking to help raise protection against heart attack or stroke. Plavix and your other medications work in different ways. Plavix, taken with aspirin, plays its own role in keeping blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep blood flowing.
If you have a medical condition that causes bleeding, such as stomach ulcer, you shouldn't use Plavix. The risk of bleeding may increase with Plavix, and when you take Plavix with certain other medicines, including aspirin, review your medicines with your doctor to minimize this risk. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Add Plavix for more protection against heart attack or stroke.
Intimidating, challenging, unpredictable. This is the famous Royal St. George's Golf Club, where storied bunkers, towering dunes, and one perilous canal await Tiger Woods and the world's best. The British Open. Coverage begins Thursday night on ABC Sports Championship Television. What's been sleeping with you in your bed? Dust mites. These creepy crawlers cause wheezing and worse. People buy just about anything to get rid of them. What works and what doesn't? Good Morning America tomorrow.
Finally, a brief review of the main story tonight. The new commander of U.S. forces in Iraq, General John Abizaid, said today, "We are still at war. Whatever you call it, it is war," and another American soldier was killed today. Finally from us tonight, a story that never quite goes away. Whatever really happened to Jimmy Hoffa, the notorious Teamsters boss? Today, police were digging under a swimming pool in Hampton Township, Michigan. A convicted murderer told them they would find evidence about Hoffa's disappearance.
I'd rather go through all this work and time and effort and money. I'd rather do that now and come up with nothing rather than not know whether something's there.
The plea of not guilty entered by my counsel.
Jimmy Hoffa ran the Teamsters Union in the 1950s and 60s. He turned it into a powerful, militant union. He was widely believed to be in league with organized crime and to have used their methods.
Did you say that SOB, I'll break his back? Who? You. Well, whose back were you going to break, Mr. Hoffa?
Take give his speech. I don't even know who I was talking about, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Hoffa was convicted of fraud and jury tampering, but President Nixon commuted his sentence in 1971. He was trying to get control of the Teamsters again when he disappeared from this parking lot in 1975. The mob was always suspected, and it's been like Elvis sightings ever since. There have been dozens of theories that his body is at the bottom of Lake Michigan or mixed into the concrete to build Giant Stadium in New Jersey, among others. And now a backyard in central Michigan. James Hoffa. He would be 90 now, and he still has a powerful hold on the imagination. That is our report on World News Tonight. Nightline is later. Have a good evening. Good night.
For the latest video highlights, log on to America Online. Keyword ABC News, or go to abcnews.com.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
When it comes to women, this guy has always finished last.
They think I'm a nice guy, and that's about it.
Now, in order to win the girl, he must run, row, and even walk on fire.
Uh-oh.
The season finale of The Dating Experiment. 10/9 Central, ABC Tonight.
First, fast, accurate.
News 2 at 6 starts now.
We were made aware this morning by your news station that something may have occurred at General Hospital and that a body may have been misplaced.
An exclusive News 2 investigation leads the state health department to look into what may have happened to a baby's body. Good evening, everyone. News 2 has learned the body of a newborn baby was misplaced at Metro's General Hospital.
Metro's legal department confirms that the baby was indeed accidentally buried with another body on Monday. The infant's body has now been retrieved, but News 2 wants to know how this mistake happened. Sylvia Castaneda broke this story on News 2 at 5, and she brings us new details.
They searched all over the hospital this morning and this afternoon and cannot locate the baby's body.
This is exclusive video from Metro Circuit Court obtained by News 2 of the Tuesday afternoon court proceedings to exhume the body of a man buried at Bordeaux Cemetery Monday. The reason? Metro's legal department believes that a missing baby's body from Metro General Hospital may have been mistakenly buried with that man. The baby was born July 1st at the hospital.